Hey, this is Chris Greenman, and I'm here with Johnny Thunder today, our special guest that has the same voice every time. How's it going, Johnny?
Fantastic, man. Thanks for joining us on PatriotXL today. I just got my hair done. I'm enjoying it out here in the desert, taking in some clouds. It's really nice. But so you get some stories for us today or what? What's going on? What are we going to
I mean,
discuss?
there's a lot of stuff going on in this country, but the biggest one I think we got is just like the way the media, the mainstream media, likes to twist ever so slightly a lot of what Donald Trump says, and then they turn it into some story that's just freaking has nothing to do with anything he said. And we saw a lot of that in the with the insurrection or the non-insurrection, I should say. There really wasn't one, where they would take his speech that he said to everybody, and as we all know, like, we're going to go down there and march, and we're going to peacefully. Well, the mainstream media cut out peacefully and everything else, and then they said, "Well, it's insurrection." I'm not trying to beat that one to the ground, but I mean, let's talk. The big one on the news today is about bloodbath. The way he used bloodbath, and make no mistake, the way he used bloodbath was nothing bad whatsoever, other than saying that he's going to put 100% tariffs on China importing cars into the U.S. because they just put all this money in Mexico to build two factories. So he says if he's not president, it'll be a bloodbath because obviously it would serve a massive blow to the U.S. economy. So that's what he meant. Anyone that has actually watched what he said versus watching clips of what they want you to hear. So here we can just play a little bit of this. Check it out for yourself. Exciting stuff.
What I heard was a continuation of the same rhetoric, the same endorsement of political violence that we've seen from Donald Trump for years, as you pointed out. It goes even farther back.
We are all desensitized and inured to the extraordinary, remarkable, and very, at times, un-American and threatening things that the former president is saying.
We can't take him, look at what he's saying and think, oh, well, he didn't. We're going to be accurate for this. We're going to say he was referring to the auto industry.
Yeah, the left-wing media doubling down on its anti-Trump narrative, twisting Donald Trump's warning about the future of the auto industry out of context.
Mhm.
So there you can pretty
That that's
much.
that's the whole show right there, Chris. Don't you think? I mean, it's about taking somebody's words, and if people don't know about this, are you familiar with what Chinese factories are doing? What type of cars they're trying to bring, and why
Yeah,
there's such a threat?
Yeah, so they're trying to bring, these cars that are going to cost substantially below any car that you can buy currently in the U.S. if there was no tariffs. If it was just the actual cost of the car, and they're pretty decent cars from what I've read as far as like the reliability and everything else. And they've been doing them for a long time. We just haven't seen them in this country. So it's not that it's a bad product because, as we know, China is building better and better products because they have mastered the art of letting us invent it, and they perfect it as much as they can. And they don't do things like protect patent and the child labor and everything else. So they can get away with making these cars for dirt cheap, right?
15,
Unless we put a tariff on them. But an entry market into a nice car would be like $10,000. So I don't know what anyone thinks they could get a $10,000 car here for, but I don't think you can do it, right?
No, you can't, and it's even hard to find a used car after the whole lockdown thing. Because I mean, people went on a scarcity mode. I think a lot of people just get a big fat check from the government, and they
Right.
were making more on unemployment than they ever made at a working job because of the premiums they were getting. So people went out and bought everything. It's like if everybody had a down payment for a car. So that screwed up our American car market. And if you go look for a used car, well, 3 years ago is now probably it's coming down, but it was like up to $4,000 or $5,000 above high blue book price for a used car. And we're talking cars with 250, 300,000 miles on them that are about to destroy themselves.
True story. I'm coming home one night from LA on the freeway, and it's like three in the, and I'm cruising a good 80 miles an hour. Then all of a sudden, a car that's sideways is in the carpool lane on the freeway, and I could just go right through them with my Tesla. Big shout out to Tesla and Elon Musk for making a safe car because I walked out of there like a chimpanzee after he just had a banana in the forest, and he was happy. I was happy, so I was able to get out of the car after all the airbags went off and everything like that. It was safe and all that kind of stuff. But needless to say, my car was totaled, as you can imagine. And then, I just submitted to insurance. Obviously, it wasn't my fault. There was an accident prior to me being there. I was a third party to that accident with no warning, that kind of stuff. Long story short, so not when Tesla gave me my money for my used car, which they salvage it or whatever you call it, I made like $10,000 of just what you were talking about with the prices that were so high for used cars in that market. And even today, sorry, I go by Toyota, and Toyota has no cars on their lot. Zero new cars. It's all used cars. So, the supply chain, whatever you want to call it, obviously has had an effect.
It's been crazy, Chris. The company they're talking about is called BYD, Build Your Dreams. It's a Chinese car manufacturer, and they're trying to come out with a $15,000 EV. So that's really what
Wait, how
the
much?
threat is. A $15,000 electric vehicle like a
Okay,
Tesla.
yeah, I heard between 10 and
But
okay, so
like a Leaf, like a Nissan Leaf. Who knows? It's just their entry level, but they're going to try to make it a crossover SUV or something, right?
This is our world.
whoa.
Throughout generations.
I agree. I love that part of the show.
This is our world. That's my new voice. Was I pretty good? Could you tell it was me?
I was having trouble with it,
Yeah,
but
me too.
so you want to sneak cars across the border with everybody that's looking for asylum, wink, wink, just a free American passport to make money,
They would probably, try to bring the cars over and hide well, or people trying to get in the country, and that could be an additional problem.
Well, I don't even know if that's going to be the thing. They're just like the cars. You're going to want to flood our economy with cheap cars because they can't be built here, and we charge them tariffs, so they'll smuggle in the cars, and then they'll sell them once they get to the States.
Right. So
Car dealers. Go ahead.
So the biggest thing that Trump just came out and said, listen, if you think you're going to build a factory in Mexico and we're not going to charge you a tariff over here after everything that we pay, you're crazy. And he said he'd basically charge a 100% tariff because of all the jobs it takes away from the U.S. and everything else. So Trump won't let that happen. Biden will probably make money on it and endorse it and probably pay them money to work cars over here. So and that's what Trump's referring to as a bloodbath, because obviously the Americans and the auto workers aren't going to probably be too happy with that.
It's crazy that cheap labor can have such an effect. And then, did you see the other thing that's happening with Tyson Chicken? Did you see that headline today?
I did not. Tell me about it.
Well, Tyson Chicken, I'll have to find something on, but they laid off a bunch of American employees and they want to hire like 40,000 or something. I'm not giving you exact numbers. New people that are asylum seekers. That's what they call them.
Oh, I did see that.
Good. Illegal immigrants.
That's just beyond ludicrous. I mean, that's just directly, you're rewarding them. Not only are you getting your cell phone and your medical benefits for, the illegals coming over, which, we don't even give that to our own people here that are looking for an assistant. And we'll also give them the jobs, like the good jobs that have the benefits and everything else. And so obviously this is creating a problem. A lot of it won't be received well, especially on the 2024 election. And the polls are indicating that Trump being ahead by a substantial amount on national.
Well, I think it's a good thing. He's up against a few things today. He's got this, just reading about the huge bond for the civil case he has to deal with, $450 million, whatever that amount is, that huge amount.
Right.
And there's some options, probably a wealthy donor, probably leverage a piece of property or something, but it's a lot of money to come up with. No one's underwriting that. And
well, it's the largest single civil payment ever that has been rendered in the United States history. And it just happens to be our 45th president, which is ludicrous and asinine when you have the current administration that's pushing. So, and the fake prosecutions and all this other crap. So it's a real problem. And I think the Supreme Court's going to probably weigh in on this when they hear this, and they'll probably make him do this. I mean, that's what you guys can mark that down.
Well, you basically went to school you have some law school experience.
Right.
Grew up around a lot of law, so you have some insight. So if you're to look at this, all these kind of cases, the type of cases they are, being civil or whatever they are, or just state, local, or some city, or the state of Georgia, all these different states, like Colorado tried to play some games. They're all trying to get their hands on them. And eventually it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're going to go, this is kablooey. This is dodo bird talk. This is worth it, right?
Yeah, and you brought up a great point. The civil, the civil amount. Not only is it unprecedented, never unheard of, and there was no victim in this lawsuit at all. The banks love them, so you have no victim prosecution of a civil case. That is just frivolous. It's ludicrous, and it's the judge you couldn't be more biased than that judge was in that case. I mean, he was posing for the camera, flexing at the gym. I mean, I don't know if I'd be flexing if I was that guy, but hey, maybe he feels good about whatever the way.
Well, I mean, this guy's obviously sleep with himself at night. And I bet if you talk to him, he'd justify, justify his way 6 ways to Sunday full of hot air, but you
Right.
got to think that, yeah, you're just holding on to this. You're just stalling. You're just an annoying thorn in the side of Trump
Right.
as he's trying to move along, right? And so you name this huge number, hoping that you can stifle him from moving forward, keeping him trapped in this case, pretty much, and instead of being able to, finish it. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you're right. And what they're all fighting for is to get some gription on something before the election. And what they're failing at is doing that because by any kind of delay, like this Fannie Willis BS that happened on, where they said that that her prosecutor has to be off the case now. How they can render him off the case and not her is beyond me. The judge basically said that she lied under oath, which if you're a district attorney for a state, that should be a fireable offense. She should be out already, just on that alone. But
Yeah,
putting
two
that
guys
aside,
robbed a bank, but we're going to take the guy that had the bag of money. Yeah,
yeah,
not the guy with the gun, but the guy with the bag of money. With the gun,
right,
yeah.
right. So all your accomplices are set free, and because you got the money, you go to jail. That's fair.
It kind of reeks of conspiracy, though. That
100%, 100%. I mean, this I've never seen anything like this in my life. And
like who brought this case to her to bring to there to get him locked in? I mean,
well, she campaigned that she was going to put him in jail. That was her campaign.
Oh, okay. I wonder what the
she
story. I wonder what
said
the
that
story is if we go deeper, past the affair she was having, supposedly, allegedly. Where there's cell phone data of a guy being at her house like hundreds of times or whatever, right?
Right.
So I wonder what happened. Let's get conspiracy silver. Let's get our aluminum foil hats on. You know what I mean? But let's think about this for a second. What motivated her to do such a thing, and what premise did she have to do such a thing? And here we are. And if you're that righteous, somebody probably tempted her with some kind of offer. Something's going on somewhere in the back that we don't know deep in the swamp. Is my guess.
I know Soros had a crazy amount of funds that he led to her election, and Soros is behind so many of the leaders, Democratic leaders throughout the states, on his campaign contributions to them. I mean, it's all out there. It's very transparent. Anyone can go look up how much money Soros has gave to strictly Democratic people around the country and strategically placed them. Everyone from the district attorney in Los Angeles, who they don't prosecute any kind of crimes over there, which is why the city is it's like a third world country. I don't know if you've been there, but even with my martial arts and ability to carry a gun, I still get a little bit nervous, because it's that bad. So
yeah.
I mean, I could have my whole Chuck Liddell and freaking every MMA fighter I know and still be like, yeah, man, this is not the greatest idea. You know what I'm saying? So it's legit. It's like that. It's like this. I don't know how to explain it. Like they were in water world or something like that. I don't know. It was just crazy. There's no order. There's no law and order over there. So so that can be tracked as far as Fannie Willis is concerned. I got a little off track there, but I'm just saying, you're getting you're getting millions of dollars to your campaign, and that's how you win. You have to get that favor back because Soros, obviously, his main function in his life, being how rich he is to bring down Donald Trump, which he has been unsuccessful.
Well, I mean, it looks like the polls are leading for Donald Trump. Some people are waking up. They're finding a lot of, immigrants. And like I was watching today in New York, there's people making a permanent flea market on all the sidewalks of, Queens. Like you couldn't walk through there. That's AOC's area. She doesn't even go deal with her district. And it's full
I saw that.
You saw that too?
I saw that, and I'll take this even a step further. So where I live in Southern California, in the Orange County, it's pretty nice. And in the last year or a year and a half, I can now walk a block away, and I'm at a taco stand on the sidewalk. They're making these, and let me tell you, it's some great food. It's street food. It's like way to Mexico.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's great because I don't have to go very far to eat. And I can get all these little fruit drinks that they make, and I'm not really versed with all the food. I just know what I like. So churros.
I like the corn. Yeah.
Yeah, the corn's good. So,
oh yeah.
But the point is, they're not getting business licenses or anything like that. They're just setting shop on the sidewalk. As if regular Americans did that, they would get fines and tickets, and they'd be told to leave. But because this is such a group, they're enabling them. They're like supplying electricity and stuff like that for them. So it's a problem. I mean, it is a problem when you let 10 million in the last street. It's a problem.
Orange County is interesting because I was looking at moving down there. My woman was looking at getting a job down there, and I was looking kind of near where you're at, and I go,
Right.
"Oh, they have some nice trails for hiking." Then I found out that those hiking trails were like a campground, pretty much. Like nobody with the house. They became like the whole how Iron
Some
Horse
of them.
Trail. right?
Some of them. I mean, they're still good hiking trails. Don't get me wrong, but they do camp out along the beaches and stuff like that in places where they've had to forcibly take them out. And what's funny is like they permit all this stuff unless they have some leader coming. Like if they have Biden visiting or someone else visiting, they clear all the homeless people out. You know, it's like, okay, you can't be here now, but as soon as they leave, you can come right back. It just sends a really bad message. It's like, be
These
consistent
these are not
in
the
what you
droids
do.
that you're looking for.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So
That's
so
crazy. Well, it's a good wrap today, Chris. Any other
thanks,
parting
man.
thoughts? Well, we'll get into some other deeper stuff next time. I know you're going to get back to your career doing martial arts and eating spaghetti for a living. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good pose. That's
Thanks.
action, man.
I just saw the Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. And, you know, it was a choreographed fight, and apparently they both had it was kind of a real fight because they were doing like a little bit of live sparring. 'Cause they're like, hey, you show me something and I'll show you something. And so he's like, wah wah wah, and then Bruce Lee's like, wah, like that, right? And then they do like something, not the Steven Seagal, you know, that stuff. They're doing more like, wow, you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting hearing Chuck Norris talk about it because he thinks he could have took out. I don't know. I'm on the
I,
fence
uh,
on that.
I interviewed one of Bruce's very close friends not too long ago, but we'll talk about that another time. He just
Perfect.
had a book come out, but it's been a good show, man. Everybody like and subscribe. Johnny Thunder, Chris Greenman.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Hope you enjoyed our show. We go on a little bit of a tangent, but as you know, we're getting into some deep stuff. We got more stuff to do, and we're new at this, so expect it to get better over time. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, everyone.